This is the Hisense M2 Pro, a triple laser smart portable projector that feels like a compact home theater without the hassle. I set it up, watched movies, played some games, and moved it around my place to see where it fits best. Key features that stood out to me are the triple laser engine, Dolby Vision support, and a real optical zoom. The triple laser light source is the big deal here. From my experience, colors look insanely rich without drifting into that neon frame oversaturated look. Skin tones stay natural, greenery looks deep and layered, and animated content pops. Hisense claims coverage beyond the full BT 2020 palette. And while I can't measure it, I can say I didn't see banding or weird tint shifts, even on tricky scenes. In dark rooms, HDR movies look legitimately cinematic. Dolby Vision helps by adjusting brightness and contrast per scene, so highlights keep their sparkle without crushing shadow detail. Setup is where this thing won me over. I put it down, powered it on, and the AutoMagic AI Adjusting 2.0 did the heavy lifting. Autofocus clicked in fast, keystone squared the image, and screen fit found the edges. It even recognized the light switch on my wall and avoided it. I tested the wall color correction on an off-white wall, and the projector neutralized the warm cast better than I expected. For purists, yes, any digital keystone can shave a little sharpness and brightness. But if you're like me and want a clean picture fast, this automation is the best I've used on a portable unit. The integrated gimbal stand is clutch. Tilting up for a ceiling projection actually worked for me on a lazy night, and I didn't need stacks of books to get the angle right. Horizontal adjustments still mean turning the whole unit, but the base feels stable and planted. Optical zoom is a quiet flex. Most portable projectors cheat with digital zoom, which softens the image. Here, the 1.0-1.3x optical zoom let me bump the image from about 65 inches up to around 120 inches in my living room without losing 4K clarity. And it can go to 200 inches if you have the throw distance and a big wall. The 0.47-inch DLP chip uses pixel shifting to render full 4K on screen. If you're new to that term, it rapidly shifts the pixels to fill in extra detail. Done right, it looks sharp and clean. On this unit, text and fine textures in 4K streams look crisp, and 1080p content upscales nicely using the AI 4K clarity processing. Brightness is rated at 1300 ANSI lumens. In my opinion, that's very solid for nighttime movies, dim rooms, and gaming with the lights low. I tried watching a show in daylight with curtains open, and as expected, the image washed out. An ALR screen would help, but if you plan on daytime viewing in a bright space, this is not the right tool. In a controlled room, the contrast is better than what I usually expect from a small DLP projector, with darker scenes holding detail instead of turning into muddy blobs. Motion is handled with MEMC. Out of the box, it was a little too smooth for me, so I switched to the film setting. That kept motion clearer for sports and games without giving movies that soap opera look. If you hate motion smoothing, you can turn it off and still get steady playback. Audio surprised me. The two 10-watt speakers sound fuller than their size suggests. Dialogue is clear, there's some body to the mids, and the DTS Virtual X effect adds width that helps the sound feel bigger than the box. For casual use, I didn't feel like I needed a soundbar right away. When I did connect my soundbar, eARC over HDMI worked flawlessly, and I got uncompressed audio without sync issues. Bluetooth also works for wireless speakers, though I noticed a small audio delay in one test, which is typical for Bluetooth. The smart side runs on VIDAA. It's straightforward, fast, and it has Netflix, Disney Plus, and Prime Video baked in and working correctly. I appreciated that I didn't need to plug in a streaming stick just to get Netflix. The interface isn't cluttered, and the remote has a backlight, which is a small thing that makes a big difference in a dark room. Voice search was responsive when I tried it. Gaming went better than I expected. ALLM kicked in with my console, and the projector dropped input lag to a mode that felt snappy. The spec says as low as 12 milliseconds, and it lines up with how responsive it felt in a shooter and a racing game. I played at 4K 60 without obvious lag, and on my PC I tested 1080p at a higher refresh mode for smoother motion. If you're a competitive player who wants 240 Hz at 1080p, this feature is there for you. I did have to tweak picture settings to keep HDR from blowing out highlights in one title, but after that, it was smooth sailing. There are trade-offs. The biggest one for me is connectivity. You get one HDMI 2.1 port and one USB 3.0. That's it. No Ethernet jack. With a console and a 4K Blu-ray player, I constantly swapped cables. I ended up using a small HDMI switcher to make life easier. The Wi-Fi was stable for me, but I would have liked a wired option. If you're all streaming in one console, you're fine. If you juggle multiple physical sources, plan for a switch. I'm mildly sensitive to DLP rainbow artifacts, which are those brief red, green, blue flashes in high contrast moments. I did catch them a few times on subtitles and white text over black. They weren't showstoppers for me, and most people won't notice, but if you know you're sensitive, keep it in mind. On the flip side, I didn't see laser speckle on solid colors, which can happen with laser projectors. Noise levels were low. I measured nothing formally, but in real use, even at full brightness, fan noise faded into the background. During quiet scenes, I could hear a soft whoosh if I sat close, but with normal volume it was basically invisible. The hardware feels premium. The compact body is easy to carry at around 8.6 pounds, and it comes with a sturdy case that actually protects it. The lens looks serious, and the side speakers push sound out into the room instead of just forward. It's a thoughtful design that looks good on a shelf and disappears when the lights go down. It's perfect for someone who wants a flexible, high-quality picture without turning their living room into a permanent theater. Apartments, dorms, and rented spaces benefit most because the auto setup and gimbal stand mean you don't need mounts or special furniture. It also shines for movie nights, sports watch parties, and casual gaming sessions where you want a big image fast. From my experience, the only times I hit limits were bright room viewing and juggling multiple devices. If you mainly watch at night and you prefer streaming, those limits won't matter. If you're trying to build a pro-level, always-on theater with 6 sources and midday sports in a sunlit room, this isn't that. Pair it with an ALR screen and an HDMI switch, and it levels up. I'd recommend this for anyone who cares about color, wants Dolby Vision, appreciates a real optical zoom, and values fast setup with solid smart apps. If you're upgrading from a generic portable projector or a dim LED cube, this will feel like a serious step up. If you're sensitive to rainbow artifacts or need more ports, try before you buy or budget for accessories. In my opinion, Hisense nailed the balance between portability, picture quality, and ease of use. The M2 Pro treats color like a priority, gives you the right HDR tools, and makes the setup nearly foolproof. VIDAA keeps streaming simple, the speakers are better than expected, and gaming responsiveness is legit. The single HDMI port is the one thing that made me grumble, but it's not a deal breaker once you plan around it. In conclusion, this projector delivers a big screen experience that's easy to live with and satisfying to watch. If your viewing happens in the evening and you want a cleaner, less fiddly setup with true 4K sharpness and standout color, this one should be on your short list. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Hisense M2 Pro.